8th, and readings Deuteronomy 7 through 9 and Mark 15. We go to Mark 15. Mark being the shortest gospel, we're near the end, and it's the trial and crucifixion and death and burial of Jesus. And yeah, it's a story we know. We talk about it on Good Friday, and we understand it. But what reading through the Bible does is, we read it through different times throughout the year. And I think that's good, because it puts the remembrance, just like communion, of what he's done for us. So it begins Jesus before Pilate, and Pilate asks him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Chapter 15, verse 2. And he answered, "You have said so." And Pilate asked him again, "Have you no answer to make? See how many charges they bring against you." But Jesus made no further answer, so that Pilate was amazed. At the feast, he used to release for them one prisoner from whom they asked. And among the rebels in prison who had committed murder in the insurrection, there was a man called Barabbas. And the crowd came and begged to ask Pilate to do as he usually did for them. And he answered them, "Do you want me to release for you the king of the Jews?" For he perceived that it was out of envy that the chief priests had delivered him up. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have him release for them Barabbas instead. And Pilate again said to them, "Then what shall I do with the man you call king of the Jews?" And they cried out again, "Crucify him." Pilate said to them, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Crucify him." So Pilate, wishing to satisfy the crowd, released for them Barabbas, and having scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. It continues. And as you read through the lengths that Jesus went through, the mocking, the physical pain and suffering, and then being crucified on the cross, and then those that would walk by and mock. He saved others, verse 31, but he can't save himself. "Let the Christ, the King of Israel, come down from the cross, that we may see and believe." And those who were crucified with him also reviled him. When the 6th hour had come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. And in the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, "Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And in this, I heard someone recently talking about this darkness, that this is when the sins of the world were placed upon Jesus, so much so that he was forsaken, that the world went dark, so the Father could not see, so that Jesus bore it alone, the sins of the world. It was too grotesque, too horrible for anyone to view, anyone to see. And Jesus did that for us. One of the things as we read through the Bible in the various places throughout this plan, here now, early March, as we get to piece together the story and the plan of God, the desire that God has to love the people he's created, and the lengths that he went to reconcile us to himself. And the cross was that ultimate place of laying down his one and only Son, that we might have life that whosoever believes, we've got a message to tell because we've been given a gift. Let's not take it for granted or forget to pass it on. And it might take some work to help people understand and see that God, by His grace and through His Spirit and His power, will give us that ability. Because that's what He wants. He wants reconciliation. Thank you, Lord, for what you have done for us. Until next time, keep growing.